all of our Torah obedience, why does it seem at times that we're operating more under the curse than under his blessings? Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 4 of the double Torah portion, Bahar Bokukatai. And let's actually get into the Bokukatai part in chapter number 26. This begins in verse number 3, but let's look also at verses 1 and 2. And they read as follows. Do not make idols for yourselves, and do not set up a carved image or pillar for yourselves, and do not place a stone image in your land to bow down to it, for I am Yahweh your Elohim. Verse 2, guard my Shabbats and reverence my set-apart place. I am Yahweh. And then we begin with the first verse in this section of the Torah portion. If you walk in my laws and guard my commands and shall do them, then. One of the largest words, the greatest and most impacting words in the English language is the word if. If. When you see if, you will see a beginning of a conditional phrase, a conditional clause, if you will, which refers to a future event, which is conditional on another future event. If you do this, then this is the result. If you do that, then you get that result. The favor and the curse of Yah, the blessing and the curse. At times it would seem that Yah is sitting on his throne and arbitrarily determining whether our actions should result in his favor and blessing, or whether we should come under his curse. I think the reality is the blessing and the curse have already been decreed. They're already in place. It's not as though Yah is determining one path or the other for us, but rather that's our choice. He has said, if you walk in my ways, in my statutes, in my commands, then my blessing will be upon you. If you choose to walk contrary to my ways, then the curse is there to greet you. So it's not as though Yah is pulling one lever or the other to affect our lives, but rather those things are already set in place. So it is up to you and I whether we choose the blessing or the curse, not Yah's. The situation can be contrasted then between these first two verses. He says, do not make an idol for yourself. In the 10 Commandments, he says, I will have no other gods or idols or Elohim or considered mighty ones. And the phrasing would suggest thrown up in my face. Yah is the only Elohim. There are no other mighty ones other than he. No other gods, no other power. Men may attribute power to the sun, moon, stars, to the power of money, to the power of themselves, to any one of a host of false deities and gods, even Hasatan himself. But there is no other power other than that which is granted and originated by Yah himself. Yah says there is no one else. So why would we choose anyone else? He says, do not choose another idol. Do not choose to create any image and bow down to it. He contrasts that then with the idea of Shabbat. Keep my Shabbats and guard my set-apart place. What this comes down to is, are we going to walk in the realm of death and darkness where we try to appease whoever and whatever we decide is our mighty one? Or are we going to walk in the understanding of truth that Yah has granted unto us? Yah is not looking to be appeased. Yah is not given a default response to us of that of anger and judgment. Yah is not looking to destroy our lives unless we choose to do something good, but rather he has chosen to act in love and mercy and forgiveness and compassion. He is long-suffering even toward those who walk in an evil path. It's not as though that the moment that we commit a sin or that we have chosen to walk contrary to him, that instantly then the curse shows up. Sometimes that's compassionately and with long suffering delayed, giving man space to come to his senses and to be willing to make teshuvah, to return to him, to repent. The rabbinical mind says that man does not sin unless a spirit of insanity would seize him. I tend to agree with that. Sin is insanity. So we are giving these statutes beginning in verse number 3, kukah, the plural kukakim. Get that out. The idea is that we are to decide our halakha, our choice of how to walk, our daily mode of living, our personal value system, our core values, our chosen means of living on a daily basis based on the truth of his word. And even though many would say, well, all of that's been done away with, these truths continue. They are filled with blessing. They're filled with favor. And just like the curse, the blessing may not immediately show up. It may be delayed. Many years ago, I read a rabbinical statement that said something along the lines of this: if we have favor, blessing, wealth, joy, and every good thing in this current present world, it is because nothing has been reserved for us in that which is yet to come. But if we go with lack, if we suffer, if we endure, if we persevere, if we have to overcome smallness and issues where we're restrained, it is because there is great measure and abundance that has been reserved for us in that which is yet to come. Do you want it all here and now? Or would you prefer to enjoy an overwhelming abundance in the kingdom when it would endure and thieves will not break in and steal? So let's continue. I want to read something to you from the Ethics of the Fathers. Quote, a love that is dependent on something. When the thing ceases, the love also ceases. But a love that is not dependent on anything never ceases. Which is a love that is dependent on something? The love of Amnon for Tamar, the children of King David. And the one that is not dependent on anything? The love of David and Jonathan. David and Jonathan. Unquote. From the Mishnah, Maimonides writes this, quote, one who serves God out of love occupies himself with the Torah and the mitzvot and follows the pathways of wisdom, not for any reason in the world, not out of fear of evil or out of a desire to inherit the good. Rather, he does the truth because it is true. This is the level which God enjoins us to attain, as it is written, you shall love the Lord your God. When a person loves God with a proper love, he observes the mitzvot out of love. This agrees with the words of Yeshua, if you love me, keep my commandments. So we're not walking in the word and keeping commands, keeping Shabbat, the feast days, eating a clean diet, changing our focus, changing our ways, keeping our business practices pure and upfront, walking in honor to our parents, loving our children, sowing our fields and reaping, but providing also for the poor. We do these things not just so that blessing will fall on us, but because we love our Creator, we love our Mashiach, and we love one another. We act out of love. Until tomorrow, shalom.